This is μεγάλο μικρό. You want a small or big?
Our Holy Trinity Parish is a William Steele building. This church was built in 1925. 1918 is the establishment of our parish, so we're going to be 90 years this year, coming year, so we're all excited about that. People come into Orthodox churches whenever I give tours and they look at the iconography and they go, now all Orthodox churches are built the same, but the icons are different depending on where you are, what the focus is. And they look, why all these icons, these people, who are they? Why pray to the saints? They're the saints. Our icons are the windows to heaven.
Our side of the building where I worked at, our windows in fact face the church, and we kind of glanced down and someone said, is that smoke coming out of the top of the dome of our church here? And we were just amazed that it was, and of course other people had seen it by then, and the fire department was called. It appears the fire started in the back here of the church, in between the floors. We were later told in between the floorboards and electrical in nature, and it ran up the church area through the pews here up into. At that time, our icon wall, or iconostasis, was forward, almost to the spot of the stairs there. And it had burned into the wooden structure that held the icons. And it was pretty extensive. At the time, we had never had something like that happen here, so it was pretty devastating. At the completion of all the restoration, and we ended up deciding to have a rededication or a reconsecration service. We invited our bishop, and our diocese is in Chicago. He agreed to come. We picked our dates and planned a festive event. It was both a festive and very beautiful, because the bishop came. He reconsecrated our church as they would if it was a new church. He went outside initially and he knocked on the doors with his staff. And
open the gates and let them remain open forever.
The doors were open and he blessed the exterior, then he came around and blessed the interior of the church. They bless with holy, like a chrism, a mixture of holy oil. And he went around and blessed all the icons, new and old. We had many visitors and parishioners that had moved away came back for the event.
So the worship life is one that attracts them, the beauty of our worship life, which is based on long kept traditions. The other thing that probably attracts them to orthodoxy is the stability of its ethical code. It doesn't change with time. We are, we were, we are, and we will be the same. It's a dynamic church. It changes a little bit with generation, with culture, with language. For example, 20 years ago you wouldn't hear much English in this church. Now you do. But everybody's baptized in the same font. They're married the same way. They receive communion. It's familiar. It becomes familiar to them. Shocking at the beginning, but then very comforting once they get used to it. And then thirdly, I want to say this community. This community is just amazing how they kept together for 80 years.
I was an outsider, especially non-Greek, and I think that everyone accepted me as a part of their extended family. And I don't think there was one bad thing said to me during the whole time, but encouragement. And they knew that I took my time. I didn't all of a sudden become Orthodox just because I married an Orthodox Greek person. I think the excitement of this church is the continuous hard work from everyone, because only having 60 families in this parish, we have to do a lot of fundraising. And the fundraising takes everyone. Everyone has to work hard, from the festivals to the Grecian dinners to the Saturday in the park. And if we didn't have everyone pitching in, this parish would have a tough time making it financially.
hard time during the war. I can't believe how I survived the family because the time Mussolini and Hitler's army came occupy Greece. They took everything we had for the little village. And after the war, we have civil war, communist and against the communists. We love this country because this country is the greatest country in the world. I know the owners. They know me, just they like me because they're working hard and honest. And I ask me if I bring people from Greece, give me job. Yes, guys, as many you want. Say, guys, if bring my brother or any nephew or everybody. Yes, brought, and I put in a job. We work on time, 75 Greeks there. And I put it there. I say you hire this guy. And they do.
With a parish of like 75 people, 75 families we'll say, okay, and we have our 2 Grecian dinners, one in the spring and then one in the fall, and then we have our festival in the summertime. Our 6th annual was this year, and things were very successful. Now, with a small number of families, we work really hard. I mean, from the oldest member of the community to the youngest, because the church is an extension of the home. At the beginning of the year, we have the Feast of Epiphany, the baptism of Christ. Well, the beautiful part about that is with that holy water, throughout that month, next couple months, I'm in everybody's home blessing. I have basil sprigs, and I'm in everybody's home blessing their home. I'm bringing the church to them, but they're also part of the church. So we're intertwining the church, their home, and their physical home together. And it's really important because that holy water keeps them safe. It's a tradition, and the church within their house throughout the year. Greek hospitality, there's the word philoxenia. Okay, friends of those who are strangers, okay, not the strangers. Okay, and we have that. That's part of the Greek culture. And part of philoxenia is the charisma, which is the treat. And if you invite someone to your home, you'll offer them something to drink. Ouzo is a drink that people offer people to drink. It's a Greek liqueur with a anise liquor type of taste. Ouzo. Food plays an important role. You're not just going to get a sandwich, but you're going to get a platter full of food, an offer, and foods from the different regions of Greece. We have our grape leaves, which grow throughout the year, in the spring through summer. You know, our pastizio, which is like a lasagna. You know, our meats. You know, our lamb, of course. Our gyros, which is an American type of lamb, beef type of product, made in America. Shish kebab, souvlaki. You get all that too. And of course, with that comes dancing. Remember, you're our friend. You're welcome in our home. And as our friend, you're also becoming part of our family. That's what we want. And we open up our heart to you. It's not like hi and bye. It's hello, welcome. Come, be part of our family, join us, break bread with us. When people decide to get married, a couple decide to get married, they need to choose a sponsor. And the Greek word for that is kumbari. Your kumbaro or your kumbara. They are the person who will stand with you when you're being married. They exchange the rings. It's the first part of our wedding ceremony. And then they also change the crowns, which is the second part of our service. Now, in order to be a kumbaro in a service, okay, first of all, you need to be a member of the Orthodox Church, which, of course, matters. Because how could you be part of a service allowing people to get married and not be part of their culture, their dogma? Now, the kumbari, what does it mean? It's extended family. So you don't have just your brother or your sister there, or your parents, but you have friends, close friends, hopefully people who are involved in the church like you do, so you can have a relationship throughout the church.
In small towns like Sioux City, you're always in the minority. You're always the only one that fasts in the cafeteria, the only one that goes to church for 3 hours at a time. the only one that goes to church anything on the other day than Sunday. So the demands of the liturgical life are extreme in the view of the world.
It's not easy to be Orthodox. It's hard, it's difficult. This is what you have to do. And one of the things that you have to do is also pray, but also fast. And people look at it and they fast. Well, we fast on Wednesdays and Fridays for meat and dairy. And then we have our many feast days throughout the year. And you're fasting there, strict feast days, strict fasting days. So technically this year, there are only 49 days of meat consumption. Think about it. So you're only allowed to eat meat technically for 49 days. That's about it. But you're fasting Wednesday and Friday, the Christmas fast, the Easter fast, Great Lent, and throughout the year, other feast days. So 49 days, that's not a lot. And for a person to follow that, you got to be strict. And the church must be an important and a priority in your life. It's difficult.
We never forget the people who help us. We appreciate and respect them in our mind and our heart.